This is The Gorge. It's a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic.
The Gorge is brought to you by Patreon. That's patreon.com/thegorge, where for just $2 a month you gain access to That's Hell You're Walking Into, a podcast set deep within an unknown singularity. It's an event. Don't worry about it. You're going to be grinding a lot of ladders, and I'm really, really sorry, but I promise it'll be worth it, because at the end of that ladder is a whole bunch of knowledge about Fate, Stay Night, and Extra, and Grand Order, and all other kinds of obtuse pieces of that god-awful, amazing franchise. If you think that sounds like a good idea, and frankly I think it does, you need to head on over to patreon.com/thegorge. There's even more amazing benefits if you go up to the $5 tier. But no matter what, we appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, guys. So, this week is our roundup for the month of October.
Correct.
And it has been a month.
Sure, I'm dreading the news.
Worse.
I'm dreading the news, but that's okay.
But first, what have you been up to this past month?
Not too much. Mostly because I've been, drawing again. So it's I could play video games, or I could sit in front of CSP and do that. So I've been doing that more often lately. But we've been streaming, so I thought that'd be fun to talk about real fast. We've been streaming Devil May Cry alikes. Because
they're not character action. They're very clearly inspired by Devil May Cry.
They are character action games, but they are more so inspired by Devil May Cry. It is weird because Devil May Cry happened, the first one, and then it just kind of spawned this weird cottage industry of licensed games that played like DMC, and all I can think is that it's basically because DMC is the correct 3D evolution of the beat 'em up, which is what licensed games used to be. You know, your X-Men's, your TMNTs. It kind of makes sense because it's here's your licensed character, and because if they're a cool action star, or Jack Skellington, I guess.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of neat attacks and stuff that you could come up with, and a character action game is nothing but really an excuse to kind of set a 3D character loose on a bunch of enemies and tell you to go to town, right?
Right.
So I guess that's why it seemed to be such a natural fit for so many genres, or for so many licensed genres, and it's so strange because it is very specifically yeah, you had your third-person shooters during the PS2 era, like Blood Rain, and Max Payne and stuff like that, but these are very specifically third-person action games that have a melee slant.
You can specifically see the influences of Devil May Cry in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can make Blood Rain isn't it's a character, it's an action game, but
right.
You don't see any influence from DMC in there.
No, not really. It is definitely more influenced by Max Payne, actually.
So we've got Metroidvanias.
Correct.
And we've got Wolfendooms.
Right.
How do you feel about Devil Nettas?
Oh, I hate it, but also it works perfectly. Devil Nettas. Yeah, Wolfendoons. Yeah, no, it totally makes sense. It's stupid sounding, but...
Or, to expand it one step further...
Oh, no.
Bayo May War.
Oh, God, it sucks. Oh, it's awful. I like Devil Netta more, but also it tracks. It does track. I hate to say it.
But it is amazing. If you missed it, the VODs are on YouTube. One of them is right now. I got to put the other two up there, but I haven't because I'm lazy and I forget. But don't worry, they'll be up there.
I'll pester you.
But it is weird because we were not expecting two of them to be as good as they were.
2 out of 3 so far. I'm shocked, honestly. 2 out of 3 so far. or 2 out of 4, but we've played 3. The next one's coming soon. Like, have been extremely good. Like, not just kind of okay or very bad, like one of them, but like really, really good. Surprisingly so. To the point that I want to purchase both of them for myself. Well,
right?
Purchase in finger quotes, but purchase for myself just to see what they play like. Because I think they would be really fun. They look fun. The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, and the fucking Ghost Rider licensed game for the PS2, which I'm just baffled by. I'm still thinking about it days later. I'm like, what the hell? Who decided, like, yeah, let's put a lot of effort into this one and make it like a really good character action game? What the fuck?
Like, playing the Ghost Rider game, like, it was like, it looks a lot like God of War. Like, he's got a chain and he does spin attacks and whatnot. It's like, I figured that would be it. Like, he's got one set of moves and then whatever. But then we see that move list and we're spending points and getting, like, full-on multi-layered combos.
Yeah, you can string things together and you know, we're figuring out tech as the stream goes on, and it's like it has like a halfway decent motorcycle segment gimmick that actually doesn't suck ass. It's not amazing, but it's functional.
I had fun with it.
It's fun. Yeah, it's not like anything incredible, but it's well constructed enough. And we're just, like, playing this game going, wait a second, is this game good? Is the Ghost Rider game for the PS2 an actual good video game? And the answer is yes. I think it is a solid 8 out of 10. Like a very strong 8 out of 10.
I think, in all honesty, thinking about it, just in terms of gameplay, it's better than DMC 1. It's better than Dante in DMC 4. And it's on par with...
better than Nero in DMC4.
Yeah, better than Nero in DMC4. And it's on par with 3 and 5. Like, just in terms of, like, raw gameplay.
Yeah, I think it's definitely, like, it feels very much like the... It's so weird. It feels like the game that DMC2 was supposed to be.
Yeah!
Like, it's so strange. It feels like the step... Which is weird, because this game came out a year after DMC 3. But it feels like the step that you would take before you got to DMC 3, because it feels like such a logical progression in a way, where it's like you have DMC 1, and then Ghost Rider takes a lot of those same ideas of lots of combos, not as many, no extra weapons, actually.
Yeah, none.
Which is maybe its only thing against it that I think it's kind of against its favor, but it makes up for that by having a ton of combos. But, like, it refines out, instead of refining out from the weapons element, which is what DMC1 has, like, DMC1 has two kind of things going on. It has the combo element and it has the weapon element, right?
Right.
And it feels like instead of refining the weapons element, which is weirdly what DMC2 did have, not very well, but it's there. Instead, it decided to refine out the combo element. It just feels like it's crazy. It does feel like the step before you get to DMC3, which is more combos and more weapons. And I really, just watching it, like, the animations are very good. The music is decent. The only thing is the level design is extremely samey.
Right.
And there's a few, like, little techie things that, like, you wish you had more of a stun on certain attacks, and combos are harder to build up. But then it also does neat things where you can't break an enemy shield until you reach a style level, which even Devil May Cry doesn't do. I don't know. I was very impressed. I extremely enjoyed just watching it being played. In a weird
way, I just put this together. In a weird way, we followed the progression of DMC 1 through 3.
Oh, we did. We kind of did because Oogie's Revenge is very DMC 1, and then we played Van Helsing, which is just DMC 2 because the guns are way too strong and it sucks. And then we got to Ghost Rider, which is basically DMC 3, where it's like as good, it's like quality like the first one, but then better as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's funny. I don't think DMC the DMC is gonna keep that train up.
No, I think we're gonna lose that streak because I do still like DMC 4, and I probably will not like DMC. No,
I'm not looking forward to that one. But yeah, no, that it's been fun to watch and it's been fun to see, and I was personally extremely charmed by how loving the Nightmare Before Christmas video game was. It had no reason to be that well made, and then we looked it up on stream and went, oh, somebody who made this game went to Platinum and made Bayonetta. Okay.
So, that explains why they have the exact same dodge.
Yeah, the exact same, like, extremely leggy dodge. And, like, the fact that Jack Skellington just has a Devil Bringer. He has a Devil Bringer.
Yep, that's exactly it.
He can pick enemies up and throw them with it. And it's like, oh, this is way more thought out for a Nightmare Before Christmas licensed action game than I ever expected. I appreciate it. So, to make up for the fact that I didn't play a lot, it's fun to talk about that kind of thing. Although I did, literally 30 minutes before we started recording, because I wanted it, and I just decided to just grab it. I bought the DreadX Collection 3.
Ooh, how is that?
I literally just started with the first game because I wanted to play that FMV game really badly.
Oh my god.
It's extremely spooky. Yeah, it is. Okay. It is very disconcerting. But I love it. I watched the first two DreadX collections while I was working, because Jesse Cox and the Scary Game Squad, who are basically my replacement for having no shitstorm this year. I just watched their old episodes instead. It kind of fills the void in my heart. They played the first two, and I was like, oh, these are really good, because they are extremely cheap collections of micro horror games, all made by different indie devs. Daniel Mullins, the guy who did the Hex and Pony Island, he had one in the second collection. Very small, extremely short game in the second collection of his, but very interesting, and just a lot of like little tiny studio. David Szymanski, the creator of Dusk, has games in the first two.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so lots of, and they're very short. All of them can be completed in anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour is like the gimmick. And the first two DreadX collections are, I think, $5 and $10. Like the first is $5 and the second is $10. The current one is also $10, I think, but it's on sale for the launch, so it's 10% off. So I just grabbed it because I was like, well, Scary Game Squad right now is playing Amnesia Rebirth, and I actually really want to see what's going on in this one, so I figured I would finally buy one for myself and actually kick some money toward them, because I think horror anthologies in video games is an extremely cool idea that hasn't really been capitalized on yet since the people who made Until Dawn made the attempt, and I think they failed. I don't think they actually put out the rest of their anthology.
That's something we've discussed on this podcast like a few times when we do like, if you like our we do like 3 horror indie games in a row, and we're like, these should be an anthology. Yeah,
and that's literally what DreadX did. Is they've just been assembling anthologies, and it's a very cool little project. So I'm looking forward to playing more. And like the deal is that they all are kind of held together with like a framing device. Like the second one is you're locked in like a spooky house, and you have to play these games to hopefully like fix your brain. And then this one, it's like an alternate dimension, and you're trying to find a way out. And it's cute. It has like these very cutesy little framing devices. So each game is inside of an explorable space as well.
Oh.
So you unlock the games by doing little micro puzzles inside the DreadX collection, which I think is neat. Yeah, it's kind of like how like back in the day, like the Crypt Keeper in Elvira would be the one to be like, here's our new stories. It's in that kind of same framing.
Nice. I like that.
I like it a lot. I'm excited to play more. Tis the season to be spooked, and I had to. So yeah, I'll report back. I don't know. Maybe we'll play those on stream instead. I'm not sure. We'll play it by ear.
Mm-hmm. Do anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
Nothing else of note.
Okay. I didn't get to play a whole ton of stuff,
okay.
but I did kind of watch and participate in a lot of things. I'm working my way through Kingdom Hearts still. I beat Chain of Memories.
Oh, good.
And I'm warming up to that game more than I thought I would.
Oh, okay.
I did not enjoy the GBA version, like in hindsight. Mm-hmm. Like it's like I'm never gonna go back to that.
Sure.
The PS2 version of Chain of Memories has actually ended up being a lot better because it has like fully voiced cutscenes and it feels a lot better to play because you have more buttons to press than 2. Also, the Riku mode is still the best except for when it's not. So the thing about it is that in a way, Chain of Memories is kind of like a roguelite, I guess.
Okay.
Where you get cards where you get to set the theme of the rooms you're going into as you progress through like each world, each echo of the Kingdom Hearts 1 worlds.
Mm-hmm.
So you get stuff like a whole bunch of Heartless will appear in this one, or they'll be really strong in this one, or every Heartless will take damage if you attack them in the overworld first.
Right.
So you get to pick which you and when you beat a battle, you get a random card to use to open up the next door.
Yeah.
So in that way, you kind of get to decide like what your map layout is, like whether you want it to be really, really hard or really, really easy.
Okay.
With the consequence being like if you fill up a whole thing with just treasure chest rooms and Moogle rooms, you don't get any other cards because you need to beat enemies to get cards.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. That's
and also,
interesting.
Also to level up and like get more points to fill out your deck more.
Right.
So that's how Sora plays. The thing with Riku mode is that all of every world Riku goes to, his deck is pre-generated, and you don't get to edit it at all. So like everything from the way how many the cards are laid out to how many you get to what level they are is all pre-generated per world. Which is great because you don't have to micromanage it the way you do Sora's deck. But you can also get worlds where Riku's deck sucks.
Oops.
So the way the game works is that you have 0 through 9 number on your cards. And you do combat kind of like normal, but every attack or every action you take costs a card. Like if you set a bunch of Keyblade cards to do attacks, and then you have spell cards and summon cards and whatever.
Right.
It plays like War, where you play a card, and if the opponent plays a card that's higher, your attack gets negated.
Right.
If they play a card and your card is higher, their attack gets negated. And 0 is both the highest and lowest. So if you play a 0, anything can beat it. If they play anything, a 0 can beat it.
Okay.
Their Wonderland in particular for Riku's deck doesn't have a card over 5, I think, and it has no 0 cards.
Oh no! Okay, I get it now. Oh no!
So you have to be tricky with. So what you can do is you can slot 3 cards in, and then that grand total will be played. So you can slot 3 7s and get 21,
right,
and beat everything unless they play a 0. So Wonderland requires you to do a lot of slates. The downside being you have 9 attack cards in your deck total, and when you use a slate, the first card you spend doesn't reload when you reshuffle your deck. So you just lose that card for the battle.
Oh!
So,
okay, that's great.
Yeah. So
okay, that's great. Thanks, game.
So that's...
I get what you mean now, why it's like, sometimes it's good until it isn't.
Yeah, so that's the world where it's like, fuck it, I don't care. I'm spending everything that reduces the enemy cards by 2 and raises my cards by 2.
Yeah.
But it is fun because it's like I said last time, like it's a very tonally different from 1. Diving in a lot more to Organization 13 and the nature of existence and memory and how things are tied together. Riku's story is really great because it's a lot about his growth between 1 and 2, and how he's the best version of Sasuke because he has a moral support in the form of Mickey Mouse. Which is what every like brooding rival character needs, is they need Mickey Mouse to tell them, hey man, it's cool.
You're cool.
You're
Don't
valid.
worry about it. It's fine. You're just having a hard time.
The things you are feeling are valid.
Yes. Oh my god.
There's a great bit I posted on Twitter. Because the whole thing is Riku's still trying to reconcile with having Ansem controlling him from the first game, right? And he can still feel Ansem's lingering darkness, and he's like, all right, Mickey, this is it. I'm gonna go fight Ansem now. But if I lose, he's just gonna take me over again. So I need you to destroy. And then Mickey goes, I'll save you, buddy.
Okay. we're not playing any of that. Like, I need you to kill me thing.
Yeah, and he's like, no, I need you to destroy. Yep, I will be there to save you, pal.
Don't worry.
I got your back.
Don't you worry, buddy. We are best friends. It's funny.
So I finished that, and now I moved on to 2, obviously.
Yay!
It is really good to be back playing 2.
Shockingly, Kingdom Hearts 2? Good video game.
So the thing is, like, I got really reused to the way things are laid out in 1 and Chain Memories, right? The first gameplay segment in 2, where you're playing as Roxas in Twilight Town, the first time you actually get control of the character shows you like how entirely different this game is going to be. How
much better it's going to be.
The camera is so pulled out farther.
Yes.
You move so much faster. You feel more agile. Even as Roxas, who like is basically just KH1 Sora's moveset.
Right.
Like it just feels better.
Yeah. Right.
It's
like, right. It's like Kingdom Hearts, the first one, is an interesting experiment, but might not actually be a good video game to play.
And then Kingdom Hearts 2 is just like an entirely different form of the series. Like, it's astounding how much more open and like enormous the worlds are, how much more exploration you get, how much more movement options you have and abilities, and
how much better the buttons actually feel to press and the enemies feel to hit. Yeah, even I'm aware of that one. Yeah,
it's incredible how different it feels. Like
Where are you in the game?
I'm about under halfway. I'm in Space Paranoids right now.
Okay.
Hanging out with Tron.
Fun, Tron.
Yeah.
Yay. Tron. Aww.
I know. It's funny. There's parts of this game that I completely forgot about. I completely forgot you go to Timeless River.
That part's great.
That part's awesome. It's so cool.
That part is so good. Oh my god.
It's so great. So okay, and it also reminded me of one of my favorite things about Kingdom Hearts 3 is that one of the things that people complain about because they don't pay attention to what's happening in the story about Dream Drop Distance is like, Nomura forgot that you time travel in Kingdom Hearts 2, and Xehanort had to do this whole time travel thing where it didn't work right in Dream Drop Distance. He forgot. And then in Kingdom Hearts 3, Xehanort says like, oh yeah, I just couldn't do the spell that Merlin knows.
Oh, yeah. Pay attention, guys. Focus, idiots.
He's like, unlike your wizard friend, I didn't know how to time travel correctly, so I had to do this thing instead.
I had to do it my own way.
It's like, oh, yeah, obviously that works.
The answer was right there the whole time. Fine.
But yeah, it is very interesting. Some of these worlds still look really good. Port Royal is hilarious in hindsight, though, compared to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, it's so bad. Like... It's so to this day I'm always like, did nobody sit down at any point in the creation of this game and go, hey, this is really tonally different?
So they do know, because there's a bit where you first arrive in Port Royal and they're kind of like walking around like the barracks there, and they're looking over the ledge, and Goofy says, "This feels kind of different."
All right, that's pretty good.
Some of the things are really good, like when they use the high def like fully animated facial models.
Sure.
Like they look really good. Like that's Jeffrey Rush and that's Johnny Depp. Wow. And then you get to like the far away like pixel mouths, and you're like, oh
no, don't
really.
do that. Don't do that. Shoot them from behind.
Also, James Arnold Taylor does a really, really good Johnny Depp impression. Like,
right.
no one believed that wasn't Johnny Depp.
No, it's fine. He's a good voice actor.
Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts 2 is really, really good. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Surprisingly.
I'm looking forward to moving on to Dream Drop Distance after this, and then to 3, and then hopefully I can finish those before Melody of Memories comes out, because
Buddy, you are running out of time.
So that's the funny thing is you would think like, oh, Ben probably has opinions about the demo. No, because I didn't have time to play it because I was playing 2.
Well, you can just go in fresh. It's fine. You're going to play it anyways. There's nothing in that demo that would change your mind. Let's be real.
Absolutely. The only thing I haven't done in Kingdom Hearts 2 is Atlantica.
Well, you know what? Nobody does Atlantica. Nobody likes doing Atlantica.
I made a tweet that was like, no fear. What if Swim This Way is a Melody of Memories? One fear.
One fear. Please. They're such bad songs. They are.
Listen, part of like the songs that were in The Little Mermaid are good. Like Part of Your World is still a good song.
Sure.
You know.
Under the Sea. Great song.
Good. It's just that the ones they made for Kingdom Hearts and the ones that have the Kingdom Hearts voice actors doing lines for them are not good.
Please no. We are begging you on our hands and knees. Do not include those.
It turns out that as much as I like Tony Anselmo and Bill Farmer as playing the roles of Donald and Goofy, their characters, by nature, are not good singers.
Can't sing. Cannot sing. Don't make them do it.
So yeah, I'm just steering clear entirely of Atlantica, but I'm gonna finish everything else. Cool. What else did I do? I also played a little bit of Super Mario 35.
Oh, the Battle Royale thing, technically?
And I got enough out of that. So...
Yeah, I heard it kind of sucks.
Because they're the same guys that made Tetris 99, and the thing about Tetris 99 is that it's insane, and,
right.
it's action-packed Tetris. The thing about Mario Brothers is that adding more Koopas and Goombas to the stage doesn't really fundamentally change it.
Right.
It's just more enemies.
Yeah, because it's Mario, like, if it's just Mario, then it's not that hard to navigate,
Yeah. If it were things like, like how in the Castle Worlds in Mario Bros. 1, like, they had Bowser's fireballs coming across.
Sure.
If it had stuff like that, or if it had, like, the Cheep Sheeps jumping up, or Bullet Bills, like, randomly appearing, that would be different. Because that's, like, obstacles that they're adding to get past. But this is literally just, like, we put more, like, whenever you do well, more enemies go into your opponent's screens.
Oh.
And it's, like... there's an added challenge, but it's not like anything that you can't predict is coming, Yeah,
it's not like the chaos of Tetris 99.
Yeah. Also, it's only 35 people instead of 99, so you have less, holding you back.
Yeah, it's not like you're being constantly just drowned in Goombas.
Mm-hmm. Like, it should be that, like, you're sending Kaizo Mario stuff to people.
Yeah. Like, exactly. It should be impossible.
Yeah, like, if
everybody decides to focus one guy to death, he should be dead.
Yeah, and, like, if this were, like, based on, like, Mario World or Mario 3, like, it would be better because you have more to work with. But this is Mario 1, so, like, it's you can't really do too much.
Right.
So, yeah, I probably won't get back to doing that anytime soon. It was fun for a little bit, but then I'm like, oh, this is just it. Okay.
It
should have just been a mode they slapped into Mario Maker, really.
Honestly, yeah, that actually makes more sense, like a multiplayer mode for Mario Maker. That actually would have been really fun, too, to make your own Mario 35.
Yeah.
Like, levels. That might be a little too insane, but I kind of love it.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh well.
What else did I do? I normally wouldn't put stuff like this on here, but it's important enough. I listened to Mouth Dreams.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, everybody's been... I have not had a chance to... I've really never, like, listened to... How do you say his last name? Neil?
Ciceriga, I think.
Ciceriga? Never really listened to his stuff before.
It's a trip. It's honestly, like, an experience to listen to the Mouth albums.
There's, like, 3 now, right?
I think there's 4, maybe 3 and a half. Because he released like 2 in the span of a single year, so I think they're just like 2 halves of a whole.
Okay.
Neil Ciceriga is the modern day Renaissance man, up there with like Andrew Hussey. In the
can do anything.
In the terms of just like creation.
Sure.
He invented animutations. Like, you remember that weird fad? Where they take, like, a foreign song and try to translate the lyrics into English, what it sounds like, and they just put, like, a bunch of weird clips over them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He invented that.
Huh. Okay.
Like, and he's just, like, he did Potter Puppet Pals, and he did Lemon Demon stuff. Like, he did...
That album cover, by the way, photoed in Alabama, if you didn't know. The
really?
Giant... did I ever tell you that?
No.
The Eddie Murphy head album cover is just outside of Birmingham. Yeah.
Amazing.
I saw it. I was like looking at it one day and I went, hold on.
I know
like that's the university. I think it's the University Boulevard exit. Like, I just went, wait just a minute, and then I literally pulled up the album and then pulled up Google Maps and went, oh my god. Yeah, no. Shot just outside of Birmingham. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's just a genius, and these aren't just like ordinary mashups. Like, he goes above and beyond, like,
right.
And makes these into like okay. One of the only ways you can listen, like, because they're not like available for purchase anywhere, I don't think, or anything like that. Like, he just puts them in single tracks on like SoundCloud or like on YouTube. Right. It's just like the full album is one video. And honestly, that's like the best way to listen to it, is because
just to like run through all of it.
Because like the transitions between songs are so important too.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. It makes me feel a lot of emotions.
Okay. We're all looking to feel things in this dark hellscape we live in now, so that alone is a motivator to listen to them.
Speaking of internet men who make me feel a lot of emotions, I read through 220.
Oh, did you read I guess 20,020, whatever we call that?
Yeah.
220, 20,020, who knows? We still don't know how to say that.
It was good.
How was it good?
It was good. It's a lot more contained than 17776 was. Because that one was like setting the tone for the future of football and a bit more existential and the nature of, humanity and all that. This is focused on a single game that one of the satellites invented.
Okay.
And
okay.
Just the it was Juice, by the way. Juice invented it, so that's all what you need to know about. And it's more just about like the drama of this game.
This single game being played.
And,
okay.
like, it focuses on a smaller cast of characters. It's not so much like a compilation as it is like, here's the story of their progress and their ultimate goal for it. And it was good, and it's going to continue in 221 next year.
Oh,
he already confirmed it that he's going to make another one.
Well, that's good for John Boyce. We love that man around here. I actually just got my Seattle Mariners poster the other day. I'm extremely excited. Nice. I bought the History of the Seattle Mariners poster so I can put it over my computer because I just love it. I just think it's the best. I'm so delighted by it. So I cannot wait to have it up and enjoy it. Yeah.
This one is about college football, by the way, if you weren't aware
I
of that.
did hear that.
Yes.
I did hear it's about the future of college football. So that is a massive motivator for me to read it, because this season of college football is so illegitimate. I mean, like, I love college football, obviously, and I'm enjoying, like, the games that we are getting. But I mean, like, half the fucking teams aren't even playing. You know, like, they're playing half seasons, or they're not playing at all, and some of them are playing full seasons, and it's all just a fucking train wreck, because of course, right, the big sickie is ruining everything. And it's just like, whatever. I'm really not. I'm like watching, like, I watched Alabama and Tennessee, I watched Alabama Georgia, and it's like it's I mean, I still love watching football, but even in the back of my head, I'm like, no, this is not, like, this season doesn't count.
It's not
this
the
season
same.
doesn't count. No, this season just doesn't count. It doesn't count in the NFL. It barely counted for the NBA. The only people who seemed to actually made it work was the NHL. I don't know how that happened, but good for them.
They should lean into it.
Yes.
The fact that the season doesn't count, because you know how,
just
like,
have it go totally bonkers. Yeah, absolutely.
You know how, like, when baseball games somehow manage to extend into, like, 18 seasons? Or 18 like innings, yeah, and they're like, and then eventually it's just like, whatever, the players are running around with like stacks of cups and beating each other over the head.
Everybody's going insane. Yeah,
like, they should just do that every field. Just like, this one we're putting 2 footballs in.
There's 2 footballs, and the quarterback has to kick all the kickoffs.
At one point, the ref just goes multi-ball and throws one in there.
The only way you can score a touchdown is if both balls get across the same line. That's amazing. No, I love it.
Just like,
you gotta have 2 quarterbacks on the field. It's chaos. Oh my god.
Like, has anyone ever wanted to do like some kind of crazy risky play that just like never ever works, but you've always wanted to try it? Fuck it, now's the season to do it, man.
This is the season to do it. Go fuck yourselves. Who cares? None of this matters. It don't matter. None of this matters.
He's put the ball under his shirt and he's just running down the field with it now. Is the ref going to stop him? No, the ref is enjoying a hot dog right now.
Oh, I love it. It's a great idea.
Fucking Harlem Globetrotters, but for college football.
Doing like shooting it. You have to get it through like a basketball hoop instead. It's mounted to the top of the upright. So the only way that field goal is going to count is if you kick a football through a basketball hoop at the top of one of the uprights. Good luck, idiot.
You got to kick it to one of your teammates on the other end of the field. He's got to slam dunk it into the net.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's a great idea.
Perfect.
Did you see that? Oh, okay. This is not a sports ball podcast, but I do want to say, did you see that GIF of the Rice Rutgers game where the four bounce field goal?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. So I think it was Rice and Rutgers. I know it was definitely Rice. Like, they were the ones playing. I think who they were playing against was Rutgers. But they were in... They basically, like, kind of ran the clock down to get themselves into field goal range. So, because if you punt it in, you get 3 points, right? And then, if you chip it in, hey, that's all it takes to win, then you win. And they get all the way down the field, and it's like an easy field goal to make. Like an easy field goal is like 30 yards, okay? For all of my non-football people who are listening to this podcast, which I think is all of you, actually. Yeah. I think everybody who listens to the podcast, except for myself. So anyways, a 30-yard field goal is it's a gimme, You chip it in. So they kick, and it bounces off one upright, and then from that goes to the other, then goes down, then bounces a 4th time, and does not actually go in.
No!
And you can see in the GIF, you've got to find it afterwards, I'll show it to you. You can see the Rice players, like, literally with every bounce going like, huh? And then it doesn't go in, and they just all like fall to the ground, and it was incredible, immaculate physical comedy. I loved it. So, football is still the greatest sport ever made. Roll Tide. This season doesn't count. So, anything else before we get to the news?
A few more things real quick, but I'll go. They won't take long. I also continued my trend of watching weird guys make food, like I did with Steve 1999 MRE.
Sure.
We started watching Ordinary Sausage.
What?
Which is a guy in Florida who makes sausage out of stuff. Like an entire KFC family meal.
Oh, this is a vile thing you are telling me about right now. This is not a conversation I want to keep having.
Or Orange Chicken from Panda Express.
Oh, Benjamin. No. Horrid.
It is.
Why are you doing this to yourself? Does he eat it?
Oh yeah, totally. Like
God. Okay, no.
It's only food. Like he doesn't make it out of things that are like not food in the first place.
I know, but still, it's like he's just putting food through like a sausage grinder.
Yeah,
basically?
He grinds it and then he puts it in the thing and he fries up the sausage and he tries it and he rates it.
No.
This
is a horrid thing you've told me. This is further proof that the state of Florida needs to be sawed off. Like that Bugs Bunny cartoon. Just go to town, saw it off, and shove it into the Atlantic so we can finally be free of it.
It's great because he's got like a very sarcastic and weary attitude about the things that they're telling him to do.
Yes, I am also extremely weary hearing this story. That is the correct emotional response.
Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. I
don't think it would ever work out.
I mean, like he did like what was one that actually ended up working out? He did lobster tails, and that ended up tasting pretty good.
I guess but that's only because it's only like the one thing.
Yeah, I mean, like he doesn't always do like full course things. Like he did one that was just like, here's a halibut, and he put that like all the parts of that in.
Fish sausage. I don't know about that.
He did like KFC or not KFC, Taco Bell. He did like quarter pounders. He did the it's and then sometimes it's like it works, and sometimes it doesn't.
This is a horrible conversation.
He rates them out of 5, and most of them end up being like 1s or 0s.
I'm giving every single one of them a 0 just on principle. I've never seen this, and God help me. I hope I never will. Oh God. No, I don't like this one. I don't know. Something about it's bad. It's bad, Ben. It's bad juju. You don't need to be inflicting this onto yourself.
It's hilarious, and they're only like 5 minutes long, and like, yeah, it's great.
Oh my God.
What else did I do? We talked about this last month, or I brought it up last month, I think. So I started reading it. I started reading Mashal, Muscles and Magic, which is that manga I mentioned.
Oh yeah,
where
the punch guy.
Yeah, it's everyone is a wizard, but he's very strong instead, and he doesn't know any magic. It's not good, actually.
Oh.
I don't like it.
Dang.
And the reason I don't like it is because you know why stuff like Mob and One Punch Man are good, and it's because Mob and Saitama are like good people. And
right.
the joke of they're the strongest and can beat anything with ease very quickly. But it doesn't
give them any kind of fulfillment.
Yeah, it very quickly also goes into the background, and then the plot becomes more along the lines of how they interact with their friends and deal with social situations and like the idea of being lonely at the top and what do you do when you've accomplished this. Mob wants to become physically stronger because he's training. Saitama just wants to be recognized as a hero, and he wants to help people.
Right.
This is just for the first, 12 to 14 chapters are just, haha, he's very strong. And he punched the thing, and everyone was amazed because he punched it instead of doing the magic thing instead. He flew on the broom by kicking the ground, and everyone made a shocked face, because that's not how you're supposed to do it. That's the joke every time.
It's the same joke over and over again. We only have the one, so we're going to run it into the ground.
You don't get anything like, hey, Mob got really strong physically because he trained and dedicated hard work to it, instead of the other characters who just got psychic powers and used them as a cheap way to get stronger.
Right.
And the skills that Mob learned ended up paying off because he worked hard for it. And there's like a lesson involved in that.
There's like an emotional core that anybody can resonate with. It's what makes it so good and so important. At
first, Genos wants to study under Saitama because he's strong, but then Genos learns that Saitama's actually just like a good person who just wants to help, and he admires that part of Saitama more than the physical strength. You know, like
a story,
like an emotional beat.
Like those things that stories have called characters?
Yeah, like there's a heart there.
It's got like a thing you could identify with and maybe enjoy. I don't know. That might be a little too complex for some people.
Also, the protagonist of this manga looks a lot like Mob, and I'm like, really, dude? Like,
you're nowhere near as good as one. I'm sorry. One's the GOAT.
We can see what you're doing. Like, it's pretty obvious what you were inspired by here.
It's not working, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it gets better later on, but I'm like halfway through the available chapters, and I'm like, it's just the same thing over and over again. Wow.
Yeah, no thank you. I'm good.
And then what else? There was a bunch of Transformer stuff that came out. They're doing
oh my God.
What are they called? What are they calling them? They're special versions based on because like the movie is entering its 20 or 35th anniversary soon.
Oh.
So they did a bunch of movie versions.
Hey kids, do you want a reminder of one of the most traumatic moments of your young life?
One of the most cynical marketing ploys of all time.
Hi, hey, 40-year-old dad, you've got like a 10-year-old. Do you want to be reminded of the time that like you were traumatized by a toy company? No? Why are you crying? Stop crying. Buy this Optimus Prime.
Look at how cool these new characters are, and why are you crying? The old ones are in the garbage now.
Stop crying.
Stop crying. The new ones are cooler.
You shouldn't form an emotional attachment to anything. This is capitalism, baby. We expect you to throw the old away and suffer.
So I found out that, like, due to this, it's one of the reasons, like, a bunch of characters in the G.I. Joe movie that came later, like, miraculously survive at the end. Because Hasbro's like,
were traumatized.
Oh, oops. Sorry. No, Duke's just fine.
Oh, sorry. Do over. It's fine. Sorry. Please stop crying.
But no. In regards to the 35 year anniversary, they're putting out like these really high class versions of Hot Rod, of Grimlock, of Galvatron, just like movie.
You're only getting
characters.
One Hot Rod Christmas present from me, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's so I the point is I pre-ordered the Hot Rod because he looks really good.
Oh my god.
They also are re-releasing a bunch of older print versions of characters from a line called Titan's Return. They're reprinting them under like a retro style like boxing, which means I finally get a chance to get a Brainstorm and a Chrome Dome.
Nice.
Because they won't be $50 this time.
They'll be affordable to normal human beings.
Also, I probably won't have to worry about this version of Chrome Dome breaking.
That's nice.
I learned today one of the few figures that I own is liable for damages.
Like a recall?
No, well, so one of the culture things behind toy collecting and Transformers is that these are complicated figures with a lot of moving parts. And a lot of joints and articulation and gimmicks involved. And Hasbro did not think 20 years into the future when they made these toys.
Right.
And they're made of plastic. And
so them babies is just gonna start, I don't know, spontaneously combusting. Just popping. Parts just start popping off like popcorn.
There's a thing I learned about. It's not affecting this figure, the Weird Wolf I own, but it's a syndrome called gold plastic syndrome, which is, older toys that have like that kind of swirly, glittery, metallic plastic.
Yeah, I had a bunch when I was a kid.
They will break. They will.
Like, just, like, split down the middle?
One day, that plastic will deteriorate, and it'll just crumble. There's
really
no way to fix it.
Is it just something in, like, the paint?
It's just the way the metal, like, the plastic was composed, the composition to get that swirling kind of metallic look to it. Huh. Just that composition.
It's just gonna come apart.
After some time, you can't...
There's nothing you can do about it.
You can't glue it back together, even if you don't handle the toy.
Even if it's just like sat in a box, then it's just one day, 20 years later, its arm is just going to drop off.
Yep, it's not even like a thing like being exposed to the air or like overuse. It's just like
the aging in the plastic.
Yeah, any time it'll just crumble.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like
kind of sucks, but it's also kind of interesting.
It sucks, and like they stopped using that mold as early as like 2009. So like anything after that just doesn't have any bit of that kind of plastic in it anymore.
Right.
So it's just like, it's one of those things that like only the TF Wiki does.
Sure.
Because they do
the most comprehensive wiki ever created by mortal hands.
There's like a whole section about like, hey, here's some things that can happen to your toys and how to prevent them. Like,
there's just nothing you can do to prevent like this like plastic from crumbling.
Yeah, this one is just like nothing. You can't. You just have to hope that
how bleak.
That your toy does not just like fall apart one day.
I wonder if you could like dip it in resin.
I mean, you could,
to like preserve its. I mean, then it would be able to transform, of course, but it would still preserve it would still preserve its shape. You know?
You might be able to do that. And I think you can order for some of them. You can order like replacement parts, just like reprinted versions of it to snap back on. But like,
eventually you get like a Ship of Theseus situation where you've replaced the entire fig with like replacement parts.
There are a lot of toys that are like heavy into this plastic, and some of them are made entirely out of it.
Oh no!
There's a famous one called Randy. That's his name, Randy. He's a Japanese figure, so that's why he they can use like just a weird American name.
Just his name is just Randy. Okay.
Yeah. He's entirely made of gold plastic. So there's a video, like, here's a demonstration of gold plastic. Here's the American print of the toy, which is just made of regular plastic. Mm-hmm. And he squeezes it, nothing happens. Here's the gold plastic one. He just takes it in his hand and he squeezes it, and the thing crumbles like powder.
That is so interesting, though.
It's insane.
That is like so bizarre to me that it can just plastic can just turn to basically crumble after a relatively short amount of time. That is wild. Yeah. Okay. Huh.
So like,
I've learned a new thing today, and after we get off this phone call, I'm gonna end up like Googling it obsessively.
Yeah, I know.
It's just really cool.
Just go on the wiki and read, because they're like, here's a list of every figure that has a victim of gold plastic syndrome. Like, and here's the parts that will break off.
Huh.
It's crazy.
Wow, I've learned a new thing.
The one that I'm affected, the weird wolf though, is he has a soft clear plastic, like a cockpit on his back.
Sure.
The pin that holds that hinge in place is a little bit too big for the actual plastic. Mm-hmm. So the hard plastic is fine, like the casing, the hard plastic, but the soft plastic window will eventually snap if you flip it up and down enough times with like enough force. Okay. So,
have to be gentle with it.
That's something that's like, be aware of that. And if it does break, it is fine because it can still fit within its like canopy.
Sure. Because
it's soft plastic and you just kind of push it in place.
Right.
But it's one of those things like, yeah, that hinge can break pretty easily.
Well,
it's cool to see like a community like track this stuff.
Well, yeah, of course. I think that's always like the most interesting part of extremely dedicated online communities is the social aspect of like telling other people how to, manage problems and how to mitigate damage and how to reorder parts. It's all very communal. It's all,
Yeah.
It's just nice. It's the one nice thing about online communities as we all go slowly insane in our houses.
Right.
Hold on to whatever you can get your hands on.
One more thing, just a real quick story that happened today, though, is I had to go to Rite Aid and pick up a prescription, and the delivery, like the semi-truck that drops off like everything, was parked in front of the drive-through window.
Okay.
So I had to go inside and wait for my prescription like an animal. And
surrounded by all these people.
While I was there, I was like, haha, I should go look down the toy section just in case there's like one weird action figure that's been there since like 2015 and no one's bought it and it's on clearance. Haha, wouldn't that be funny? There was a strong arm there from the Robots in Disguise 2015 line. For $15.
Please tell me you got it.
I got it. She's like $40 to $50 online.
Oh my god!
So I was like, sweet, yay!
It's just Ben just standing in like the toy aisle of a drugstore, like frantically Googling this Transformer. Like, wait, how much is this thing worth? Are you kidding me? Hell yeah, I'll buy it. That's amazing.
It's like, haha, wouldn't it be funny if there was just like one that like I wanted? Ha ha ha. Oh.
I guess you're coming home with me.
Yeah. So that was my day. That was everything I did this month. We got a lot of news to cover.
Oh, let's do it quickly.
First and foremost, next mods bans all U.S. political mods until after the election.
Womp womp. Yeah, I think everybody got real tired of seeing MAGA hats.
I wonder what that looked. I didn't see what that looked like before the ban happened. But I imagine Fallout got hit pretty hard with that.
Oh god, there's so many MAGA shitheads who identify too strongly with the Brotherhood of Steel that it's just like, ugh. Don't ever speak to me again, please. I'm sure now, of course, these horseshit political mods usually catch other things in their vile wake. So like, there was a pretty good communism mod that changed a bunch of flags and stuff. I would not be surprised if that got caught in the filter. We'll see. I actually probably should search that, but I think it's a lot. I think mostly what got was just MAGA shit.
Yeah, I feel like, and I also feel like just for the sake of like, you know, freedom of speech and whatever, and like not politicizing by not politicizing. Once the election's over, that shit's all just gonna go back up.
Like, yeah, unfortunately. I mean, really, I think there's like Nazi shit on the Nexus that I would prefer they just get rid of permanently. But I mean, you know, that's probably a not insignificant portion of the Nexus's user base, so they're not going to get rid of that, no matter how much they should.
This is a community that's all entirely like community-generated content, and you know,
and 85% of that community is just like legitimately fascist,
right? Like the minute you do start like cracking down on this kind of stuff, it becomes so much of a hassle. You would need like an entire full-time team to track everything, because like you said, like if it catches like communism flags and stuff like that aren't part of that, like it's way harder to set up like a filter for mods than it is to set up a filter for like keywords on a message board, you know?
Yeah, because they just hide it, you know?
Because what if you name your mod like Super Patriot?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like you put a bunch of like American flags all over the game. Does that get caught? Because you could also just say it's called Super Patriot and they put a bunch of MAGA crap everywhere.
Right.
Like how do you track that with like an automated system?
It's all such, you know, frankly, the Nexus should just be having more of a mod team. Like I said, they just need to deal with all their Nazi shit, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I tried to play, what was it? Not Project, I had Project Valkyrie on a mod list, and I took it off. I had, what was the other one? Depravity. I had Depravity. I tried to play it, and there wasn't anything, like, explicitly fash in it, but you ever just, like, read a thing, and its undertones kind of make your skin itch, and you go, hold on a second.
You're just I bet you've had a smug anime girl as your avatar on something.
You've got a smug anime girl, and your Twitter handle ends in 88, and you sure as hell aren't 32 years old. Yeah. It's you just get like a sniff of it. It's hard to even explain why, but then you get like, of course I know that like later on there's more like shit like it, and it's like I'm good. Yeah. Thank you, but no thank you. I'll just keep sticking to my usual plot mods. So yeah. It's not going to stop. Just because the election is coming, that doesn't mean it's going to stop. It's just going to keep being more insufferable no matter who wins.
Yeah.
You understand that, right? Like the whole world, do you understand that? Like nothing's going back to normal, ever?
This is just a symptom of a greater scope thing.
Yeah, like we're not going back to normal if Joe Biden wins the election. Like, that's just not happening. There is no such thing as normal anymore. We are already, like, on the downward slide of empire, folks. So buckle in. So even if, like, the election comes and goes, it's not going to slow down.
Yeah.
Like, MAGA shithead stuff still showing on the Nexus. Like, even if Donald Trump isn't president anymore. Like,
it's still going to keep going.
They're going to it's going to get worse. They're going to put fucking Q stuff all over the Nexus. It's going to make all of us... It's coming, buddy. Get ready.
Oh,
you know, it's going to make all of us absolutely insane. I'm sorry.
Did you see that Funky Winkerbean comic? Anyway.
I don't want to... I get so mad. I'll get so mad if we talk about that shit. You know what? I changed my mind. Pizzagate people do have a point. We should. No, I can't say that because then I'll have federal agents kicking down my door. Never mind. Next piece of news before I say something bad.
Anyway, Steve and Alex from Minecraft are coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on October 13th, and here are their moves.
Oh, sure. Just put Steve into Minecraft. Why not?
Well, he's already in Minecraft. Put him into Smash Bros.
That's what I meant to say.
That trailer was the best to me.
Oh, it broke Twitter.
It killed Twitter. It was so good. It was.
It is incredible to me. So, not to keep with the politics thing, but it is so funny to me that morning is when they announced Steve for Smash, and it was so intense that it killed Twitter, right?
Yeah.
That night, so that morning, right? Twitter is like, oh shit, we should probably shore up our servers so that if anything else crazy happens, Twitter won't go down. That night is the night Donald Trump tells the world he has COVID-19. And it's like...
Thank you, Minecraft Steve.
Thanks, Minecraft
Steve. This is on
you. This is your doing, because if Twitter had gone down when Donald Trump said he had COVID, I would have been inconsolable. Just absolutely irreconcilable grief. Like, thank you, Steve.
Steve just jumping in front of the bullet.
Taking the Twitter crash bullet.
Yeah.
For Donald Trump has COVID. Yeah, no, it owned.
But
they really just stuck some boxes in Smash Brothers, didn't they?
He's 6 boxes.
It's just 6 boxes and some textures.
So when people were first talking about Steve in Minecraft, like back, you know, like what if it's Steve? I was like, I don't want it to be Steve, because I was thinking I don't want it to be. You've seen like the Minecraft story mode, like Telltale game, right?
Yeah,
and like all those like AMV SFM stuff for Minecraft. Yeah. I was like, I don't want that in. I don't want that Steve. And then the trailer happened, and Steve shows up, and he's just Steve.
He's just 6 boxes.
It's just the same old model from the game. And
they literally took 6 boxes and slapped some textures on it and went, here is your new fighter.
He doesn't have any facial expressions. He doesn't have any, like, obtuse animations. He doesn't, like, has anything super exaggerated. It's just Steve. Just Steve.
It's just a box man. Just a box man. His get up animation.
Where
he just goes boom.
He just rises.
Just boom. And the animation of him like hanging off a ledge and he's just leaning over it ominously. Like
there's that clip of Ryu doing his like knockout punch that just like downs you, and it's just he just falls over. His sleep animation is he pulls out of bed, goes to sleep on the bed.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
And it's like I watch that and I'm like, all right, I want Steve in Minecraft. I want Steve in Smash now because like this is the best way to do it.
We keep saying we want Steve in Minecraft because his name is Steve Minecraft.
No, it's Minecraft Steve. It's Minecraft Steve.
It's Minecraft Steve.
Everyone else, like, it's Sans Undertale, right?
Right.
You know, but everyone else is blank video game name. No, Steve is Minecraft Steve.
Minecraft Steve.
He's Minecraft Steve. It's a title. He earned it. Mr. Steve is his father. Call me Minecraft.
It's like the Doomslayer.
Yeah.
He earned that name, Minecraft Steve.
Yeah. The music is amazing. I haven't played Steve yet because I have been busy with other games, but
right, you've got to plow through 6 more Kingdom Hearts games before the 13th.
But watching that video where Sakurai like demonstrated the moves and just seeing the clips of just like how absolutely insane that demo with Sakurai where he's like, Nintendo approached me and they're like, but you can put Steve in Smash, right? Like, you can do it. And he's like, okay, I would have to redesign every single level to put blocks in to make it so you can pick up blocks. I'd have to find out what every material in every floor, what kind of blocks they would generate. I'd have to program that in. I'd have to restructure every single stage to be able to place blocks in it. I mean, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, but...
I'm going to do it, but that's a lot of effort. But I am going to do it. Yeah. Yes, we will put Steve in Smash. Don't worry.
Just the absolute insanity of just clips of Steve knocking someone off and then just building a wall that prevents them from getting back on the stage.
So busted. It's so incredibly busted. Sakurai, I like Sakurai because he has such disrespect for professional players of Smash Brothers. He's like, why did you turn my party game into a fighting tournament game? It's not for that. Fuck you.
I think they said it so like if you play on like Omega versions or Battlefield versions of any stage, like you just get the same set of blocks no matter what.
Right.
They only change if you're playing on like the actual stages. Mm-hmm. But even so, that's still just like an insane thing to do.
Incredibly insane and busted. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, Sakurai.
This is, I said this before, but like every single Smash trailer, even like the characters I wasn't super hyped about, like Byleth, is just like every stage and every trailer is so lovingly put together.
There's a lot of effort poured into this into this endeavor.
Yeah, like I can't help but still be like a little bit endeared no matter who the character is, you know?
Sakurai just really doesn't want to make another Smash game. It's called Smash Ultimate for a reason. He's like, this is going to be the ultimate version of Smash. Never ask me for anything ever again.
So like
this game is gonna have 100 fucking characters in it by the time it's done.
Fucking can you imagine if just like after Fighter Pass 2 he's just like, oh yeah, Fighter Pass 3 is coming out next year.
They're gonna do a Fighter Pass. I would be shocked if they don't do a Fighter Pass 3 because it's such like easy. It's the exact same thing as season passes for Fortnite. You know, it's such easy income being generated off of just hype because like every single Smash fighter gets a ton of hype for Microsoft, the other one, Nintendo. And it's easy money. It's easy marketing. You know, people buy more Smash, and Smash just keeps selling. It's like, yeah, I would do a Smash Fighters 3, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, if there's enough of a demand, like, if there's enough hype for it still, like...
Look, if Dante doesn't get into Season 2... There is going to be enough demand because that demand's never going to go away. We're all insane.
It was interesting because like people were saying that like Steve was the template going forward because it was like Byleth was technically the end of Fighter Pass 2 or Fighter Pass 1, right?
Right.
And then you had Min Min at the start of Fighter Pass 2, and it was like. They're the only two that are first-party Nintendo characters, right? So it's like, is the trend going to just be Season 1 was third-party characters, and Season 2 is first-party characters? First-party. And then, nope, it's Steve.
No, but Steve is here, so don't worry, we're still getting third parties.
Anyone is still an option. Anyone's still viable.
Yeah, if Steve can get in, anybody can get in. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Fucking Steve Minecraft. Minecraft Steve.
It's just... And, you know, again, you get that Smash touch where you also get the Alex skin, and you get an Enderman and a zombie. And it's fun, and Kirby is a block, and it's the best.
And Kirby is just a square. He's just a cube. He's literally just a single cube. It's incredible. I love him. I love my pink QB boy. Thank you so much, Sakurai.
So, and then, what else? They also just put, like, a bunch of Fighter Pass costumes. Bomberman and Travis Touchdown are the Meek Fighter costumes.
Travis Touchdown.
It is a shame, but then someone
even Suda51 was like, my boy deserved better.
But then
our boy deserved better.
Someone did point out that, like, Travis doesn't have any unique moves himself. Like, he's just a swordsman. Like, he doesn't have any,
just
like...
a sword. I mean, his one unique move is the fact that he jerks himself off in the first game. And you can't put that in Smash. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's got wrestling moves.
They took away Steve's meat. What are you going to do?
Yeah, he's got wrestling moves, too, but, like, those are his throws. So, like, you couldn't do much with his moveset, but, like, at least he's there.
But still, please don't fight. Please don't me fighter Dante. Please don't do that to my boy.
My theory was I have, like, a whole bunch of, like, ways you would do the trailer. There's one that I really like the idea of, which is you do a mock-up of the rare characters one where it's, usually it's Donkey Kong and Diddy, and then someone takes the disguise off.
Right.
What you do is you do Ryu and Ken training in a dojo, right? Mm-hmm. And then they hear someone approaching, and they look outside, and they see the silhouette of Akuma. And then he takes the disguise off, and it's Dante underneath.
Oh my god.
And then, while he's laughing, Nero shows up and drop kicks him away.
Yeah, okay. That works.
And it's Nero. Nero gets to get in.
Put Nero in Smash instead. I will take Nero in Smash because it would drive everyone insane. And I am nothing if not a glutton for fandom chaos. Yeah. It is my favorite thing in the world. So yeah, I agree. Put Nero in Smash. And
then Dante and Virgil can be Mii outfits.
Yeah. Alright, that's acceptable. I'll take it. That would be perfect.
Because then you can get, like, the other one I had, which is if you are going to do just Dante, it's, you do a trailer about Mario and Luigi mimicking the duel on Tema Negru.
Oh my god, shut up.
And then Dante swats them away.
Shut up. Okay. Also acceptable. I do think I would like Nero in Smash almost as much as Dante. Just for how mad people would get.
I honestly think Nero would be a better pick.
Well, because especially if it's his 5 version with all, like, the different arms and stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, 100%. That's a way more interesting Smash fighter, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you do I guess you could do something really cool with Dante's... I mean, with the, style meter.
Yeah, you could figure something out. Like, I think that would be, like, your way you build up to, like, Devil Trigger or something.
Right.
But anyway. Yeah, I think that would just be an amazing trailer. It's just
fake out.
Yeah, Mario and Luigi on Tema Negru.
Tema Negru.
Because that would be the stage, right? It would be Tema Negru.
Oh yeah, there's no other option. Like, that would have to be the stage. Like, no, there's nothing else.
But yeah, speaking of Capcom, let's talk about a movie, Resident Evil reboot. Kalis, these bunch of actors to star an origin story adaptation. They're rebooting the franchise.
Again.
It's gonna be set in Raccoon City, and it's gonna combine 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, this is the one where it's like Leon has a drinking problem again, but it's way less charming.
So the thing is, starring in the roles of the iconic ink characters will be Maze Runner's Kaya Scodelario as Claire Redfield, Long Hannah John Kamen as Jill Valentine, Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield, Tom Hopper as Albert Wesker, Avan Yogia as Leon S. Kennedy, and Neil McDonough as William Birkin.
Okay.
It's the rumor. This isn't confirmed or anything. The rumor is that so we know that in the games that Leon was late because he got drunk and had a hangover because his girlfriend broke up with him.
Right.
The rumor this time is that he is a disgraced cop and is an alcoholic because he accidentally shot a kid. And I'm just thinking of Al Powell in Die Hard 1 where John McClane asks why he's on desk duty and he's like, I shot a kid!
I wish. No, it'll be so much more insufferable.
It'll be terrible.
It's gonna be awful.
No.
It's just gonna be awful.
Listen, okay, first off, also, listen, like, casting, skill over appearance, of course, right? None of these actors look anything like their Resident Evil counterparts.
They didn't even try. Like, it's all a bit, the only one who because I know what Kaya Scodelario looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe.
She looks like she'd be a better Jill than Claire, though.
You're right. But, like, I guess she could do, because she's kind of youngish. So I guess she would work as Claire, but that's it. Like, everybody else, I'm like, who are you people? Who are you supposed to be playing? What's going on?
I know who Tom Hopper is because I watched The Umbrella Academy. He doesn't look like Wesker.
Oh.
He looks more like Chris than anything.
Wesker in a movie is going to just be abysmal.
Oh, you can't get anyone that can ham it up enough.
No, nobody is going to be willing to go that completely insane. Are you kidding me? It's going to be awful.
Unless you're like Nick Cage or something, and they're not going to cast Nick Cage.
They're not going to cast Nick Cage in this fucking Netflix Resident Evil movie. It's not happening.
It's going to be so bad. And also, the idea of them combining 1 and 2 is really bad because the whole point is that there's several, like, they're like at least like a week apart.
Yeah, and it's set in very different
you can't
locations.
Yeah, you can't do that because the way the timeline works is that the zombies need to get from Spencer Mansion to Raccoon City.
Yeah, well, they can do whatever they want, and it's going to be bad.
And
they can technically do it, but they shouldn't.
You can't do them simultaneously. Like, you can't be like, okay, well, this timeline, both events happen simultaneously, because the whole point is that Jill is in Raccoon City.
Shut up. Don't worry about it. They're also going to combine 3. They're going to be like, psych, this is also a Resident Evil 3 movie.
I mean,
Go fuck yourself.
The only way you can combine both timelines is if you just do Resident Evil 3.
It's true.
If you just rewrite Resident Evil 3 where Jill runs into Claire and Leon. Like, that's it.
Right.
Because
that's it.
You otherwise you just have to have like a weird time skip halfway through the movie where like the plot of 1 ends and 2 starts.
I mean, that wouldn't surprise me. That's exactly what bad movies love to do. Be like in the middle of the movie, be like 1 week later, be like, excuse me, we were just doing something. Oh, there's a whole new cast of main characters?
Which means like,
okay.
Assuming this is like an hour and a half long movie, right? That just means like at 45 minutes you have to compress the entirety of Resident Evil 1.
Oh god.
I know.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
This is gonna be so bad.
It's gonna be abysmal. I'm looking forward to it as a movie night.
That CG show still looks pretty good though with Leon and Claire though.
The CG show might be good. Might be good. We'll see.
Yeah. Also to summarize, we've got this. We got this reboot Netflix movie, right?
Yes.
We got the CG show.
Correct.
Right? We also got the live action show about the Wesker twins.
I thought the live action show was going to be this, and then and then somebody was like, "No, this is a movie."
These are just 3 different things in 3 different timelines.
Did Netflix just get the rights to Resident Evil from Capcom for like a song? Like, what is going on?
Like what? Why are they just like?
Where's my Devil May Cry anime?
Were they just like in a meeting where like no bad ideas here? We're gonna do everything you suggest.
We're gonna make all of it. We're gonna make anything you want. And Capcom was like, okay,
sure.
Okay, we're gonna make a lot of stuff then. Capcom's just walking out, just like counting dollar bills, just like those idiots. Hell yeah.
And then don't forget, we also got Resident Evil 8 coming.
Oh yeah.
And
I guess this is all supposed to be like some sort of like insane marketing push for 8? Which seems inscrutable.
Which is crazy to me because, again, 2 of these things, at least, are starring Leon and Claire, who aren't in 8, apparently. Maybe, I don't know, anything can fucking happen. And the reboot movie, which doesn't have anyone in it from the Resident Evil series as it stands.
Don't worry about it.
And don't forget, there's also still those rumors about the remake of 4 that might be happening.
I think the remake of 4 is for sure happening. I don't think like Capcom, didn't they basically confirm it?
No.
I mean, we haven't gotten like an official trailer or anything yet.
No, they have not confirmed it in an official manner. but like a lot of insiders are saying like it's the next logical move.
They're gonna do it, which is just gonna be insufferable.
Because you have to make Leon now fit his new characterization from the 2 remake.
Right. Ugh,
like you have
insufferable. I'm sorry. As much as I loved Resident Evil 2, but the idea of making like RE4 Leon jive with like the RE2 remake Leon, it just makes me want to throw up, because it's like, what if we took away all of his cool doofus personality and just made him like a nice guy? And it was like, that worked fine for RE2's remake because it was just like a remake. It's like, oh, this is a different interpretation of these characters. But no, now it's just going to keep persisting. Like, oh no, this isn't what I wanted.
Yeah, so if you're a Resident Evil fan and don't care about quality, you have a lot of shit coming your way. That's good.
Food to eat. Where's my Devil May Cry anime?
Only one of them has a good chance of being good, and the other one might be good just because it'll be dumb and corny, and that's what I like. So
it'll be bad, and that'll be good. It'll be a takeout episode for sure.
Still looking forward to 8. I will probably watch the CG show. Looking forward to that really bad Netflix movie.
Oh yeah. No, that's getting a commentary track for sure. Don't forget to donate $5 to our Patreon to get that when that happens.
Moving on to some potentially good news. Silent Hill Shattered Memories follow-up is currently being pitched. Sam Barlow is like, please let me make this game. Please.
You know, somebody has to be doing something with this IP. Like, it's been too long, right? Like, I'm sure Sam Barlow was pitching it, which, like, I don't know how I feel about that. I think I would prefer, like, I don't know. Like, I think I would prefer, like, at least somebody from Team Silent more directly making it. Like, Shattered Memories was a cool experiment, but it's not the next Silent Hill thing I want. Like, I don't want a follow-up to Shattered Memories to be the next piece of fucking Silent Hill. Like, after the crushing heartbreak that is Silent Hills getting canceled, like, no. I need more.
I do think, this is important just hiccups. Just because, like, this is, like, it's not just like, oh yeah, if I had the chance, I would make another Shattered Memories, like those dumb things where it's like, so-and-so has expressed interest in being in a Marvel movie.
Sure.
And it's like, yeah, every actor in the world would like to ham it up in front of a CG screen and make $12 billion.
Right.
Duh.
Yeah, everybody wants to be in a Marvel movie because it's easy money at this point. This
is Sam Barlow saying, I am actively pitching an idea to studios.
Yeah, it's just, and I think that's cool, and I'm interested in it, but that's not, I don't know. I don't know what I would want out of another Silent Hill. What I want is Silent Hills, and that's not going to happen.
I feel like what can potentially happen is just the same thing that Kojima did with Silent Hills and Death Stranding, where he's just like, I have this idea, Capcom won't let me do or Konami won't let me do Silent Hills, so I'll just make my own IP and just shove my ideas into it, which is what I would want, because I like the mechanics behind Shattered Memories a lot more than I like it as a Silent Hill game. Yeah. So, like, if he's just like, I'm going to make a horror game where your protagonist's perspective changes depending on what you, the player, focus on.
Sure, I think that'd be fine, especially because he's been so, with like, telling lies and her story, he's been kind of focusing, like, kind of intensely focused on this concept of, like, what can be true and what the player knows, kind of, like, really taking a deep dive into those kind of concepts, and I think that applied to an actual third-person horror game could be super, super interesting.
Yeah.
To mess with, like, the sequence of events and giving players the ability to uncover as much or as little of the story as they want, I think that conceptually could be very interesting.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that I love his approach of, you aren't given dialogue options or like stats you can track to see your progress.
Sure.
It's all based on what you, the individual person, value within this game world. And it's
right. Like,
it's
are you satisfied?
Yeah, like it's dependent on what for her story, it's dependent on what keywords you find are important. Mm-hmm. And the path you take to get to it. And with Shattered Memories, it's about like just the idea of it being like, what do you look at in the game world was the part that like blows my mind, and I would love to see that more of stuff like that happen.
I would like to play Telling Lies. I haven't had a chance to play it yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be an interesting thing to go play and kind of delve deeper into the concepts behind her story and see what it's like.
Yeah,
so.
I think so. So maybe something will happen. Maybe we'll see something cool happen. You know what? We're not going to see anything cool happen from.
Oh no!
Amazon Games' Crucible has been canceled. This is the hardest I've ever seen a game die ever.
It's incredible.
This game.
The game was in beta and then came out and then got unreleased and taken back into beta, and then they just canned it.
Yep,
they just canned it.
This is the limpest reveal and release of a game I've ever seen.
It's incredible.
This is like history in the making of just like, no, we're gonna take it back in, we're gonna try to fix it, and then
never mind, it's unfixable. We're just gonna kill it. We're just canning it forever.
Not even something like No Man's Sky got hit this hard.
Well, yeah, no, they actually fixed No Man's Sky.
It. This is just like astounding levels of incompetence.
Oh, I guess that's what happens when you just have Amazon money. You can just kind of like screw around for however many years making this game, and then they're like, hey, we gotta put this thing out, and they're like, oh shit, yeah, okay. And they put it out, and it's like, oh, never mind. Like, but when you have Amazon money, you can just keep throwing money at it and be like, well, never mind, this one didn't work, so we're just gonna cancel it before it even comes out. Like, we're gonna cancel it after it came out somehow. How do you do that? How do you cancel a game after it comes out? That's incredible.
Can you just fucking imagine, like I'm trying to think of a good example, like of a hypothetical where it's like, okay, so like FF14 sucked, and they were just like, okay, we're fixing it. We fixed the whole thing. Can you just imagine if just like FF14 does terrible, so like Square Enix execs break into your house and just like smash your disc in half?
I just imagine like somebody showing up to my house and being like, giving me your Crucible CD. Excuse me? So, okay, there's actually a funny story, kind of, that it's sort of relevant to this. But when Tales of Graces actually came out, the original release of Tales of Graces for the Nintendo Wii in Japan, it was bad. It was notoriously, like, extremely broken, totally unplayable, and just it was in a very dire state. And Namco Bandai put out a recall order for it, actually recalled the game. And instead of sending people to like take the game, they actually sent people to players' houses and gave them better copies. Like, sent out new copies and had them like hand delivered to people.
That's a level of sorry that goes above and beyond. Like, that's like, hey,
please plays the next Tales game. Oh God.
We're issuing a car recall because like there's like an issue with like steering wheel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we'll come pick your car up.
We're gonna give you a new car.
Don't
worry.
That's like, oh, this is bad.
It's
There's a real
broken.
Problem here.
Yeah, no, it was extremely broken,
like,
and that's what Crucible is.
It's like, oh, okay, there's a recall. Oh, I'll drive the car there. No, you stay here.
Please do not. Stay home.
Fucking, they come to pick up the copy of Tales of Graces. The guy's wearing like gloves.
wearing a hazmat suit, puts it into a special containment box, slowly extracts the better version of Grace's and hands it to some confused player.
They have to take the guy's temperature in his house.
Are you experiencing any strange symptoms? Nausea, vomiting? Have you broken out into hives recently? No? All right then, you're clear for quarantine. Oh my god, it's incredible. And here's Amazon just like breaking into your house and like taking your game and being like, never mind, we changed our minds on this one. We're not putting it back into the oven. We're just taking it out back to shoot it like Old Yeller.
I'm just astounded, like just like imagining this happening to like a single player game, just in general. Just like because like it's an online game, like right? Like there's no physical media for it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So you just wake up one day and your game is gone. Like this isn't like the Tales of Graces thing is hilarious, right? Don't get me wrong, right? But it's like you still have the option, like, no, I want this version. Like,
I want to keep this busted version. Thank you.
Like, you can do that. This would be like them breaking into your house and swapping copies in the middle of the night while you're asleep.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it. It's so stupid.
They just decided, no, this game doesn't get to exist anymore.
It's like if EA broke into your house because Mass Effect Andromeda was bad. You know? You wake up and you just like sit up and there's like a BioWare employee like rooting through your games collection. You're like, what are you doing?
He just slowly turns around and he raises his finger to his lips. He's just like, shh. And then he just goes back to rifling through your list.
It's just extracting the Mass Effect Andromeda and walking out of your house at 2 a.m. And you're like, what the fuck just happened?
So to top it all off, here's a quote from the article. Crucible is not the first Amazon Game Studios project to be canceled, with multiplayer brawler Breakaway ceasing development in 2018. Uh-oh. So they're 0 for 2.
They you know what? I got a feeling it's just going to keep staying that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't feel like Amazon is attracting the best and brightest in the industry, you know what I mean?
Probably not.
You know, it's like, hey, we've got a ton of money, but also Jeff Bezos is going to personally come to your house and inject a chip into your neck that if you don't work 40 hours in 2 days, it will deliver an electric shock to your cerebellum and you will forget your mother's name. You know?
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
All right. Next article here. Speaking of shit getting canceled.
Oh no.
Indivisible, all future updates, DLC canceled.
Man, fuck Mike Z. All our homies hate Mike Z.
So,
fuck you,
yeah,
Mike Z.
Instead of letting the thing that backers paid for happen, Mike Z took his ball and went home.
It sucks too because according to like devs on Twitter, that shit was finished. It was just a matter of
they had to like
implementing.
Implement it and do some bug fixing or some patching, whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just, the stuff promised to backers again. That is the part that burns me the most. Is that this wasn't like, oh, we canceled the DLC project we had lined up that was our own making, right?
Right.
This is backer content.
People like paid for this stuff. Like I'm so cheesed because like Red from Transistor was supposed to get in. And I was really excited for that. It's
Shantae, the character from Guacamelee.
It's just so shitty.
All these extra characters were supposed to be getting. So here's the list. Previously planned guest characters and back created characters will no longer be added to the game. The dissolution of Lab Zero means there will be no future development on Indivisible. 505 Games took over backer fulfillment to ensure fans get their physical rewards and is paying to produce the Ajna Herika statues. And the Switch version will not be released physically in North America.
Wow.
It's still available digitally, but yeah, and they're getting an update that adds the DLC that exists thus far.
All my homies hate Mike Z.
But yeah, all this shit that was supposed to be in this game and was worked on, that had work done on it already.
It was basically, like, a ton of characters were basically done. It was just a matter of, like you said, bug fixes and the actual taking the steps to physically implement them in the game and getting them up to be downloaded. And it's like, no, we're not going to do that. So all of this labor that went into it is just done. It's just done.
Yeah, fucking let them finish it.
Like, let them finish the video game that what sucks for Indivisible is that, like, that is a game that was so long in development.
Yeah.
And was just, people were waiting for it for so long. I was not somebody who was, like, super hyped for Indivisible, because it didn't look like my thing. But, like, everybody was waiting very patiently. I think at every step of the way, people were very, like, understanding of Indivisible delays and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. And you could see just the amount of passion and
sure,
like, you know, work they wanted to put into it.
Yeah,
they wanted so badly to make this game perfect. You know, they wanted to draw inspiration from Skullgirls, they wanted to make a game that felt the way Skullgirls feels as a fighting game, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like,
and something they just, like, loved and felt very strongly about. And it's like, no, we don't get to finish it. Ever.
Again, the goodwill that Lab Zero built up with Skullgirls, the amount of passion and work that went into that, you know, put a lot of trust into Indivisible. Where it's like, yeah, take your time making it. We know that you guys make quality work and you want to get this perfect. We'll wait as long as it takes. And then, you know, it finally comes out and we're excited for the new content coming. And then fucking all of this shit goes down and Mike Z ruins every ounce of goodwill he had built up and does basically irreparable damage to the FGC.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, because of all this Mike Z shit comes out, we also got all that exposure about, like, all the people who were involved in Evo and all the horrible shit that goes on in there. And it's a good thing they got caught. And yeah,
sure, absolutely.
At the end of the day, like, the FGC can be sacrificed if it means we get creeps out of positions of authority and power,
absolutely.
Right? But at the same time, it's like, you fucking dicks ruined this thing that was supposed to be a
great thing, and now it's never going to get finished. So, like, Indivisible will forever just be an incomplete product.
Yeah. The money that went into it from the community, from fans who were excited about this, who put their faith into it,
right,
will not get that. And, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I don't think whoever is in charge of this now can even refund that money, if that's even an option. Like,
no, that's already been spent. I mean, you know, it just went into, like, people's, you know, it's people's paychecks.
Yeah. That money's gone now. It's impossible to track. And even if it is, because Lab Zero is gone, like, who do you demand to get it from?
Right.
It's not like Mike Z has it. It's this is
scummy.
insane. It's just like,
it's so scummy. It's so shitty. I hate it.
It's one of the most frustrating things that can happen. And, like, I can't even say it's a danger of, you know, Kickstarter or Indiegogo, because, like,
sure,
who could have seen this coming?
Well, you know, and it's like, the problem is that, you know, with Kickstarter and Indiegogo things, like, that is ultimately, when you invest in a Kickstarter project, you understand that you are an investor, and that means there is a chance that you might not get everything you paid for, because that's what investments are. Sometimes investments don't pay off. But, like, this is not a case of that, like, of a kickstarted company going under for whatever reason. This is literally like, no, it was all done. This guy is just, like you said, taking his ball and going home, and he just doesn't want to play anymore. And it's just such a shame.
Yeah, it really is. And it's like, this isn't an instance of bad circumstances like what happened with the Homestuck game, where the company they hired to do it fucking took the money and ran.
Right.
And then they had to hire in a whole new team and, like, delay it so they could build up the funds again to make it again. This is a wholly unrelated thing to the development of Indivisible.
Right.
And it's just Mike Z just fucking sabotaged everything and killed the project and ruined it all by being a total scumbag. And that motherfucker can never show his face online ever again.
God. I wish. I just... It just sucks. It's so like these scumbags never really get what they deserve. You know, I'm sure Mike Z will one day show his ugly face again somewhere with a whole bunch of shitty venture capital, and he'll start another company, you know, because these ghouls never get what's coming to them ever, and you just have to grin and bear it and hope that, you know, what was left of Lab Zero, who went off and formed their own co-op, which kicks ass, you can just kind of hope that whatever they make will be great. And I'm sure it will be great. I just hope it's something I actually want to play. Like, don't make it a fighting game.
I don't think so in this case, because, like, I know people will bring up, like, how Nick Robinson thinks he can just keep coming back, right? Yeah. I think Mike Z's done, because Mike Z managed to piss off everyone in a very public and open way. And all it will take is for someone to go, hey, that's Mike Z. And he only knows how to make fighting games, and the FGC will not forget this.
Yeah, I guess that's true. If it's such a, like, hyper niche community like this, it's a very insular community the way fighting games can be. Like, maybe, I hope for once some ghoul who's ruined people's careers and hopes and dreams can actually get what's coming to him, but I don't know. Only time will tell. But God, I hope so.
The FGC is a lot more picky than the general audience is.
Sure.
You know, because
that's fair.
Or you also, even like a lesser stake, like you think of like Cliffy B, where he just manages to keep crawling back every so often because a lot of people don't know who Cliffy B is.
Yeah, they only know him as that guy who made Gears of War.
Yeah. Like,
you know,
everyone in the FGC knows who Mike Z is, and they're not gonna forget this.
Right.
So if it's like from the creator of Skullgirls, they're gonna be like, no, get back into your box.
Yes, go back to your cave. We hate you. All right, next.
Speaking of fighting games, Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate brings Rain, Melina, and Rambo.
This DLC dedicated to the brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan.
So I've seen people complain like this is such a disgrace to the legacy of Rambo, and I just have to go,
have you seen the other movies?
And
Come
I
on.
Oh, you mean like Rambo 2?
Like literally the next Rambo movie, which was a disgrace to the original Rambo movie. Like, no, don't worry. Rambo has always been this way. Yeah. There was only the one good one. And it's not even that good.
This is amazing. I think this is incredible. It is actually Sylvester Stallone.
It's so stupid. It is peak stupid.
There was a tweet or an article or something. It's not this one, but there was a thing I saw, a clip where they're like talking about getting Sylvester Stallone in the studio. And you know the whole thing is Mortal Kombat, their big gimmick now is having the introductions, the character banner before the battle, right? You know?
Right.
They were talking about how he doesn't really know much about Mortal Kombat, but he's like, they give him these lines to read, and he's just having a blast talking about these characters he doesn't know anything about.
God, it's incredible.
So I think like
Stallone.
This is amazing. The trailer was great. It shows him hunting characters and stuff, and he's got like traps he lays in battle, and they do the thing where it's like, oh, look, that move he did is a move from this scene in this movie. And then you can match the clips up and stuff. Just insane that they can just keep getting characters like this. Who was it that said, like, Mortal Kombat is like Smash Brothers if your dad got to pick the characters?
Yeah, that's exactly. Because, doesn't it have the Terminator in it, too?
It's got the Terminator, it's got RoboCop, it's got John Rambo now. The last one had, Freddy Krueger and Alien and Predator and Jason and Leatherface.
It really is just... It is just if your dad got to make a Smash roster.
It's just like, okay, so who's next? Like, who?
Okay.
What other?
So wait, list who else? Who all have they had?
Okay, so the first Mortal Kombat 9 had just Freddy Krueger and Kratos.
Okay.
10 had Jason, Predator, Alien, Leatherface. Did it have anyone else? No, I think that was it.
Injustice had the TMNT, right?
Injustice had the TMNT, and it had Hellboy. And who else as far as cameos? And it also had Raiden and Sub-Zero.
Oh, okay. Wow.
But I think as far as like cameo characters,
pop culture cameo characters,
it was TMNT and Hellboy.
Okay.
And then MK11 has Rambo, RoboCop, and Terminator. And is that it? It has Joker too.
Who cares about Joker?
Yeah, but
who else could get in?
What other?
Like 80s property?
What other 80s action star is there?
Get in. I know like the Alien got in. I do think it would be cool if Ellen Ripley got in, like herself. Might be neat.
You'd have to like slim down her like mech suit from the end of the movie.
Yeah, second movie. Yeah. Who else though? Like 80s action stars.
Oh, this should be really easy. Why can't I think?
This should be really easy, but of course, as soon as you ask me the question, I'm drawing a blank. There are so many options. There's Oh,
what?
Oh, duh, John McClane.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
If anybody would get in, it would be John McClane. Are you kidding me?
I'm trying to think of just like shit he can do, right?
I don't know what shit he would be able to do because he's just like, I mean, the whole gimmick is that he's just like a schlubby dad with a gun, but still, like, if we're gonna talk about like action movie heroes that like dudes like fucking Ed Boon, who I hate, like dipshits like Ed Boon would absolutely idolize. Literally at the top of the list is fucking John McClane. Are you kidding me?
God, who else would be good? Who else? I feel like there's gotta be... Oh! Yeah. The Kurgan!
Oh, I'd love it if the Kurgan would get in. Are you kidding me? I would die. Because, especially if it's Mortal Kombat, because aren't they doing some sort of thing where they're gonna put in the movie stars or something?
Well, they got
they're gonna put Christopher Lambert in this game, aren't they?
No, they got the film actor who played Shang Tsung to play the character in the game.
That's what you do though. That's what you do though, is you have a skin for Raiden where it replaces him with Christopher Lambert, okay? Yeah. And then you put the Kurgan in, and you just have Highlander all over again. It's the greatest idea I've ever had in my life.
Oh, God, that would be amazing.
Oh, the other one just came to me. This one's super, super obvious now that I realize it. Snake Plissken.
Oh, my God, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Holy
Snake
shit,
Plissken is already a Mortal Kombat character. Like, yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, but God, I'm thinking of the Kurgan because, like, there's nothing more, like, Mortal Kombat-esque than the Highlander, if you think about it.
Oh, no. I would love the Kurgan to get in because I would want him to have a move where he hits somebody with a car.
Yeah, that's his fatality.
That's his fatality, is he just runs somebody over with a car while like a bad Queen cover plays in the background.
Oh, okay. God. But also Rain and Melina, but who cares? It's fucking Rambo's in this game now.
Who cares? We're here to talk about John Rambo and 80s movie stars.
Yeah. Let's see. League of Legends fake anime pop star sad tweeting about genocide.
Oh God, this one. Honestly, I am going to. I'm gonna wave the "it will make Sara too angry" card, which is something I get every episode, but I don't always use it. This one is so like bleak that I almost can't even talk about. It is so like it will, the whole concept of being blackpilled. This will blackpill you in seconds.
This is insane to me because like the whole thing is like, okay, it's the character gets their own Twitter account, right? Like whatever, that happens. Like, technically, I think, like, Isabelle or Tom Nook run the Animal Crossing Twitter account.
Right.
Like, that's just the thing where it's like, this is the character talking now, you know?
Well, yeah, they did that for fucking Persona. They have Teddy and Morgana swap off on who's running the Persona account all the time.
But this is so, like, depressing and bleak because it's not, here is our fantasy action character, Seraphine, talking about, like, the world of League of Legends.
Right.
This is a real-world alternate version of her who is talking about, like, internet depression.
Well, to me, the most insane thing is that this isn't even for a new character. Like, Seraphine is already in League of Legends. This is literally for her KDA skin.
Yeah.
This is just for a skin. Like the fact that, like, Akali and the other girls from KDA got, like, you know, they got skins in League of Legends that are for what they look like in the Pop Stars video. That's all it is. It's a skin for her, like, introduction into KDA. And it's like, it is so wild to me because we have already seen, I don't know what her name is, but there's another, like, CG fucking internet idol on Instagram, and, like, she, like, talks about, like abuse that she suffered, and it's like, these aren't real people.
Yeah.
But you're talking about this, it's so dire. It's, you know, you better start believing in post-dystopian cyberpunk stories, lass, because you're in one. That's exactly the title card. I found it. Like, to me, that is the most incredibly dark thing you can do, is to create a fake character who exists entirely to inspire a parasocial bond between your players and a character's skin.
Yeah.
To encourage them to try and get it. It is dire.
Like, this. So here's a quote from one of her tweets.
Oh god, Ben, this is gonna do actual psychic damage to me.
We're going to Shanghai in 2 days, and it's finally setting in all at once. I've been working so hard, and I try my best to love myself, but I still can't find the confidence I need. Play League of Legends!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm realizing that I can't do this alone, and maybe I need to be the one to ask for help. So could you give me some encouraging words? I need something to believe in right now. Play League of Legends today!
Oh, it's bad. Oh, it's so much worse than I realized. Oh, no. No. I hate this. I do not like this at all. This is, it's such an incredible permutation of, you know, for like a while we had brand accounts that were like trying to do like relatable, like, haha, I want to kill myself jokes.
Yeah.
Like fucking McDonald's did one or something like that. This is a permutation of that. Mm-hmm. It is literally just like doom posting taking to the nth degree, where they are using your candid thoughts on your social media. They're going to repackage it and sell it back to you as a poorly photoshopped anime girl
who has depression.
Who has depression and pink hair. And like, they just want you to be totally cool with that. We can take the human element out of these characters at all. They can be completely manufactured, and they can believe whatever we need them to believe. They don't have actual thoughts and feelings, so there can never be any gaffes. They are perfectly manicured, idealized versions of actual human beings, but look, they feel exactly the same way as you. Doesn't that make you feel more attached to them? Don't you want to spend more money on our product? And
she'll be sad if you don't buy her costumes.
Yeah, it's so it's another level of good. Because, like, okay, when this whole Seraphine shit started on Twitter, I was, like, seeing posts for it and, like, fan art for it. And I was like, oh, she's like a new character for League. She has a cute design. And, like, that was it. I just saw some fan art, and I was like, okay, that's a cute piece of art. And, like, oh, that's, like, a weird Photoshop picture where she looks like a real girl. It's kind of weird, but, like, you know, it was well done enough that I was like, that's nice. And then I, like, learned there's, like, a whole new world that I was completely unaware of beneath all of this. And it's like, no, it is so much more dire than you could ever possibly wrap your hands around. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It makes my skin crawl. This does not make me want to play League of Legends. This makes me want to redacted parody in Minecraft, if you know what I'm talking about. You know? I can't. Bad. Incredibly bad vibes.
This could have just been, here's a fake Instagram where the KDA girls are taking pictures of themselves as they go on their world tour. And
that would have been perfectly fine.
Yeah.
That would have been like, oh, this is cute, because all the KDA girls do have very good designs. And that would have been perfectly cute. And it's like, oh, look, here's our new member of KDA. Isn't she cute? We're going to take a bunch of Instagram photos, and, you know, it's not going to be anything serious. It's just going to be some, like, cutesy stuff and, like, clips from the new, because they're putting out a whole album, apparently. And it's like, here's some clips from the new album, and maybe even some, like, cutesy little animated things of them practicing dance routines. You know? Like,
yeah. That
all would have been very cute and just would have felt more endearing. But this whole, like, preying on, you know, she's a CGI anime girl who has insecurities, just like you. Don't you want to play League of Legends?
Buy our skins.
Buy our skins. Ugh. Next.
Anyway, PlayStation Store on web and mobile to stop selling PS3, PSP, and Vita games this month.
This also sucks.
This sucks a lot.
This sucks a lot.
You will not be able to just go on the website and buy stuff. You have to navigate through the PS3's god-awful store.
Oh god, it's the worst.
Buy games now.
Yeah, or you have to use your ancient-ass PSP or Vita to still purchase things. I'm glad that you can at least still buy them from the store.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't just discontinue them, which is, you know, maybe the next logical step once they're like, oh, look at how bad the sales are now. Yeah, no shit, guys. You made it impossible for people to buy it because the PS3's PSN interface is so tragic. But still, I don't like it. It's also bad.
Yeah.
It's not good. It's just another way to, like, shut people off and make sure they're only buying new stuff.
So you've got a few days to buy whatever you want on the website before it all goes away.
Hope some of it goes on sale. Yeah. And otherwise, have fun fucking navigating the PS3. I wouldn't wish the PS3 on anybody.
Next, AOC will stream Among Us on Twitch to encourage voting.
Well, that's already happened.
That already happened, and it was rad, actually.
It was actually extremely funny because H-Bomber guy, the YouTuber, the one who did the because again we live in hell, the one who did the Donkey Kong stream was like the only one brave enough to kill a sitting congresswoman on live stream, and it was extremely funny.
It was hilarious. That clip was hilarious. She got really mad.
She's so offended. It's incredible. I loved it. But yeah, no, props to H-Bomber guy for having the guts.
Watching clips of this was honestly, like, astounding, because this is the kind of Pokemon Go to the polls.
Oh, it should be. It should be tragic.
It should have been horrible. It should have been the cringiest thing ever. But, like, if you didn't know better, you just assumed she was, like, a regular streamer.
She was just, I mean, fucking, they had Ilhan Omar. I do like, because Ilhan Omar is like a mom. We stan Ilhan Omar, like, more so than maybe anybody else. I know you're not supposed to stan politicians, and don't actually, like, be fans of politicians. Yeah. That's stupid. These people work for you. They're not your friends. They're, like, you know, they're technically your employee. Mm-hmm. Don't be their fan. But, like, of all of them, I love Ilhan Omar because she is just kind of like a mom. I think she's got, like, a like a 13-year-old daughter or something, and she called something cringe, and it was really, really funny because... No, she called something poggers!
She did say poggers!
She did say poggers,
Oh,
and I just thought, like, somewhere Ilhan Omar's daughter is, like, curling up on her couch, being like, please don't say the word poggers.
Did you see the picture of her fucking rig?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She's sitting in her like, campaign office with this, like, I'm sure somebody, like, gifted her that. Was like, here. Because, like, no, Ilhan Omar does not play video games at all.
She doesn't need this.
She does not
She doesn't need this to fucking play Among Us.
No. But you can play Among Us on your phone.
Yeah.
So, I love it, though.
This was amazing.
It was great. It was extremely charming the whole way through. I respect the headline, leftist YouTuber assassinates sitting congresswoman live on stream. So, thanks. Gonna get all of us sent to fucking Guantanamo Bay. I appreciate it. It was great.
It was great just seeing how well AOC can lie, too. So that was great, too.
Well, she is a politician.
Yeah.
So, it's like, oh, that's right. She is a member of the House of Representatives. That's correct.
Just like they were talking about, like, she had that great strategy of, like, being really good at killing people and then pretending she doesn't know what the rooms are.
I do like I love the self-report. It's so ballsy to just immediately, like, just murk somebody basically next to somebody else and then self-report and be like, no, it was that other guy. I found the body. I'm in, I think electrical? Like,
Okay, so now, you know, when is her Fall Guy stream gonna happen?
Please.
You know,
I think that would actually be extremely
That'd be
funny.
fucking hilarious.
It'd be very good, actually.
When are we gonna get, like, yo, I'm AOC, this is my any % run of DMC5.
Yeah, absolutely. Speed running. Fucking Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Oh my god.
Oh god. Next, 6 months after launch, Final Fantasy VII Remake finally gets its very first patch. Didn't fix the textures.
Didn't fix the door, though. We're still waiting for the door and the rolls of toilet paper in Cloud's apartment to actually be good. They are never going to fix this.
No,
they are never going to fix that. They are going to, I'm going to charitably say March of 2021, they're going to be like, hey, look, here's the definitive edition of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1 on the PS5 only.
Yep.
That's it.
This patch is most likely getting it ready for PS5.
Yeah, it's to make it function better, like to be backwards compatible on the PS5.
Because Remake Part 2 is definitely going to be on the PS5 now. Like, you got to upgrade now.
Yeah. And then I'm sure in a couple of months they'll do like an actual re-release of the first part that's only on PS5, and maybe we'll have another boss fight, but it's mostly just going to be like a faster, betterer version of Final Fantasy VII. Like, this game, you're lucky this game came out on PS4. Frankly, if it weren't for the fact that Square Enix had showed it on PS4, like if they had maybe been a little bit more cagier with when they announced it, they probably just would have waited until PS5. If they could get away with it. Yeah, because it's like, this game is already buckling under the weight of the way it looks and plays on a base PS4. Boy, my base PS4 is having a hard time these days. It is increasingly like, mother, why?
Cannot wait to do my Kingdom Hearts 3 rerun through PS5 with no load times. That's going to be a different game.
You're never going to see any of those Instagram shots ever.
You know what's nice, though, is that I do like when loading screens are like, press A to continue.
Sure.
Because then it is like, oh wait, no, I wasn't ready.
No, yeah, I actually would like to read that now.
Yeah. So, next, this is one that makes me very happy. Google backs away from Stadia Guy's very bad tweet. Alex Hutchinson revealed himself to be the worst person ever, again. Because he was like...
How's the saying go, Ben? Each day on Twitter, there is one main character The goal is to never be it. So Alex Hutchinson failed that goal.
So if you missed it, here's an exact quote from him.
Oh, God.
Streamers worried about their content getting pulled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried by the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's all gone as soon as the publisher decide to enforce it. The real truth is the streamers should be paying the developers and publishers of the games they stream. They should be buying a license like any real business and paying for the content they use. Blee blee blee, blee blee blee. Amazing to me that people are upset at someone saying that the creators of content should be allowed to make some of the money from other people using their content for profit. We bought the game, dipshit.
Yeah, I spent money on the video game, and that is how I gave them money, and now I am streaming this thing that I own that is mine. But, wow, shocking that somebody who... Okay, well, first we need to walk it back because Alex Hutchinson does not actually work for Google. Alex Hutchinson is the creative director at a game development studio who was recently acquired by Stadia, but that does not mean that he is a creative director at Google Stadia, which is what his bio said until a bunch of people went... No, you're not.
Until someone at Google gave him a phone call.
And was like, excuse me, you're not the creative director of jack or shit. You need to change that now. Yeah, I think it's extremely funny, honestly. But, shocking to me that somebody who ostensibly works for an arm of Google is a big fan of people not owning the thing that they paid for.
Right.
That is, of course, what all of these Silicon Valley dipshits are desperate to enforce, is the idea that even if you buy your video game, you don't actually own the video game. Alex Hutchinson is just, as they say, saying the quiet part out loud. This is a thing that so many of these assholes believe.
He was, and he made other tweets where he's like, it would be like if you streamed a movie and everyone got to watch the movie. Oh, like people do on Twitch?
Yeah, people stream movies on Twitch and albums on Twitch all the time. Sorry, that is actually a thing that happens. To me, this is, like I said, this is... There are so many people at Stadia who believe this. There are so many people at Microsoft who believe this. They don't say it because they know it would be a riot, but they're working toward making this acceptable. They are actively working toward making the idea that you don't own the game that you own acceptable. They want this future. They want it more than anything. That's why Microsoft is so heavily investing in Game Pass. They want this to be what video games look like in 10 to 15 years, where the stuff you buy is still not yours. You are essentially purchasing a license to play their video game, and they can take that away from you or change that video game at any time. There is nothing unique in what Alex Hutchinson believes, only unique in the fact that he was willing to say it out loud on Twitter and got 17,000 replies.
The privilege of playing the thing we let you play.
Yeah, you are lucky that we have allowed you to play our video game. That is all it is, and they want that to be the norm. That is why platforms are still obsessed with streaming games like Stadia. That's why Amazon is investing in it. That is why Microsoft is investing in it. That's why Microsoft is such a big fan of Game Pass, like I said. All of these companies, even Sony to a degree, they do not want you to own your shit. They want to Netflixify video games.
Yep.
They want to make sure that you don't ever have a disc on your shelf ever again. And that you don't even really have a physical version of the game on your hard drive. They want that game to live on the cloud, because if you have the data of it on your computer, you can find a way to crack it and actually possess it.
And that would be bad.
And that would be bad because then they can't sell you the new thing. They can't disable the old thing and make you play the new thing that you have to spend money on. They don't want you. That's why, like, Sony is so gun-shy of backwards compatibility. They don't want you to play your old video games. That's why this industry is so obsessed with decisively not preserving its history. They don't want you to play old games.
Why are you crying over Optimus Prime? The new toy is here.
Exactly. It's the same story that's been told over and over again, basically since the 1950s, when, like, capitalist consumer culture was thrown into, like, a horrific overdrive that we are now hurtling towards at the speed of light, where we finally reached, like, its most perfect form, where the people who sell you shit don't actually have to sell you anything. You pay money for the privilege of enjoying a thing that they gave you, and you never actually get to own anything. You know, they're so obsessed with Uber because they don't actually ever want you to own your own car. They want you to rent your house. They want you to rent your car. They want everything you own, including, like, your media, to be something that they distribute towards you. And all you do is pay rent. Everybody, all capital holders want is for everything in the world to basically be a landlord situation. So there's nothing extraordinary about Alex Hutchinson. He is what every Silicon Valley shithead in the world believes. Like, you had better believe it, that they all want this.
He's just the one that had the balls to say it out loud.
Or, I suppose, was dumb enough to say it out loud. You know? And basically, like, give the game away. Like, yeah, Google distanced themselves from him.
But not because they don't believe in it.
No, they totally believe in it. That's what they want. So, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I hate these people. I like I said, redacted parody in Minecraft.
Yeah. Alright, moving on, though. Got a few more to get through here. Let's have something a little bit lighter.
Sure.
Mario goes hatless in leaked Super Mario World sprites.
How cute.
Giga leak is continuing.
Oh, I hope it never ends. I love it. I speaking of tech companies that I fucking loathe, I love Nintendo getting clowned on.
You know, nothing as big, again, as Luigi being revealed, or the Ocarina of Time stuff, but digging through Mario World sprites, finding stuff like Mario that doesn't have a hat, Mario with his arms down,
cute.
Just stuff that has never been in the game before.
Very cute, quaint things.
Yeah. Yeah, just nice little details that are fully like rendered too. Like, these sprites are just like fully made. They just were never used. So that's cool. I wonder what mechanic would have taken Mario's hat off.
I would like to hear the stories of, like, why certain things in old video games like this weren't implemented. But, you know, Nintendo is a very famously secretive company. That's why the Giga Leak is such a big deal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Let's have some more good news, though.
Cool.
Loot box lawsuit claims Electronic Arts ran an unlicensed illegal gaming system.
Yay! Keep it up. Now, this is a lawsuit in Canada, just to clarify. That being said, Ben may laugh.
Oh, yes.
Oh, please. Because there's already a lawsuit, I think it's still ongoing in Belgium, about essentially the same thing. This one is in Canada.
Yep.
And with the current state of the United States, as it were, a lawsuit like this would never actually lead to anything because, again, our legal system holds the bag for our corporate overlords. But if enough countries in the rest of the world are like, no, then it becomes not terribly profitable for them to keep it up in like the United States and whatnot. So yeah, I think it's great. I would love to see this litigated out of existence. I do have a love for a gacha game, maybe two if I somehow fall into the Genshin Impact hole.
But here's the thing about that. Here's the thing is that you love Fate Grand Order and I love Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, right?
Sure, of course.
If they released a version that didn't have the gacha elements, I would never play the gacha one ever again.
No, I would much prefer a version of Fate Grand Order where I just pay for servants. Yeah. Like I'm okay. I mean, maybe I'm
DLC at that point.
Yeah, that's just DLC. Maybe I'm deranged, but like they're already giving you a bunch of like story and game content for free. Like I don't mind the idea of spending $5 on a 5-star or whatever, you know? Like, okay, let me pick from a fucking list, spend a couple bucks on like the ones I like, and then that's great. That's still generating income from a free game, but in a better way. And you can still have like limited time servants, so you can still prey upon people's fear of missing out, you know? It's a FOMO reaction. Which is shitty, but it's still better than a gacha game. Like, in that case, it's just, this is just a microtransaction game. And everybody is like, well, if that's your thing, then that's your thing. And if it's not, fine, whatever. But gacha games are so shitty in their rates and the way they function. I hate them. Like, even if I love Grand Order, you know?
Yeah. But I do want to go down, because this lawsuit, this specific one, is huge, because it goes back from games going back to 2008.
Oh, wow.
So they have a list of games that this lawsuit is covering. So I want to go down that list with you. FIFA 09 to 21.
Okay.
Madden NFL 10 to 21.
Sure.
NHL 11 to 21. NBA Live 14 to 19. UFC 2 and 3. Apex Legends. Battlefield 4. Battlefield Hardline. Battlefield 1. That's really confusing. Dragon Age Inquisition, Mass Effect 3, Mass Effect Andromeda, Need for Speed Payback, Plants vs. Zombies, Garden Warfare, and Garden Warfare 2, Plants vs. Zombies 2, It's About Time, Star Wars The Old Republic, Command & Conquer Rivals, Heroes of Dragon Age, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, The Sims Mobile, and War Friends.
I didn't know that Dragon Age Inquisition had any kind of loot box mechanics.
I didn't either. I think it's just like...
Did it have a multiplayer mode?
I don't know. I've never heard of any like random gacha elements in that game.
Hold on. Dragon Age Inquisition loot box.
While you're looking at that up, the suit says loot boxes in EA's games are, quote, all function in a substantially similar fashion, noting that they're either purchased with real money or an intermediate virtual currency. Some loot box items provide in-game advantages, making them particularly desirable for players, but the suit implies that even items that don't affect gameplay have an insidious attraction. Oh. And they go on to even reference cosmetic items, and especially in Apex Legends, where characters who have fancy cosmetics are looked high on, characters who have defaults are looked down on.
Sure.
So, yeah, this is...
Good.
Yes.
Let it die.
Let this die. This is a very good lawsuit, and I hope something comes of it. Like you said, even if it'll never reach America.
Sure.
If enough countries do it besides America, then it stops being profitable, and they have to discontinue it.
Right. Then it just becomes like too much of a pain in the ass to come up with different versions, especially if it's like extremely easy to just import like the fucking, I don't know, European version or whatever. Yeah. You know, I don't think like PS4s aren't region locked. You can just play Japanese games on them. So if a system is not region locked and then like the European Union bans loot boxes, but the European Union, all of their games have to have an English mode because of like their laws vis-a-vis the different included languages, then you can just import the European version.
Yeah.
So at that point it stops being, it almost becomes too much of a hassle, and then hopefully we finally see the death of loot boxes, which would be nice.
We can only hope.
We could only dream.
One more, and then we're done.
Cool. Hit me.
Counter-Strike pros banned for betting on their own matches.
Oh, I love Counter-Strike because every time Counter-Strike is in the news, it's always like the most hardcore mafia shit going on. Like, it's always like, you know, we're running like a cryptocurrency scam, or people are laundering money through CSGO. Or in this case, people are literally betting on their own fights and then taking a dive. It's great.
The Esports Integrity Commission announced late Friday night that 7 Australian Counter-Strike players have received year-long bans for betting-related offenses.
Oh my god. Incredible.
Yeah, so that is just amazing. Like, straight up, this is the modern equivalent of the mafia going to the boxer and being like, you better take a dive tonight, son.
That's exactly it. I think it's great. There's something so inherently cartoonishly scummy about CS at this point that I kind of love it. It is a hive of scum and villainy, as they say. And every time it's in the news, it's always like, oh, what have those crazy, wacky psychos at CSGO gotten themselves into this time? Oh, they invented trafficking again, but with items in a video game. Sure. It's great. Please never ever stop being like the worst CSGO.
These are some of the rare articles and things that reminds you, like, the internet is still a lawless wasteland in some regards. Like, we're still the Wild West frontier here.
Sure. I mean, we're beginning that age in every cowboy movie where it's like, the West has changed, son.
Yeah.
But every now and then, there's still a shootout, like on the 310 to Yuma,
right,
as they say. And you still get fun things like this, where someone's just doing mafia shit in a shooty video game.
Like, this is just history repeating itself. You know, we already have things like Prohibition era, like, speakeasies in some instances where people are playing like modded games that shouldn't be accessible anymore.
Yeah, no, it's great.
This is amazing. Just like
it's so good. Please never let it end. Let there always be somebody getting up to some shit with video games, so that we can always have stupid news stories to talk about for way too long.
It's amazing. And of course, you know, there's Australian Twitter is reacting to this heavily in their typical way you would expect the Australians to speak about it.
Oh, sure. A lot of well, I can't say it in good company.
Things that I'm not going to quote, because even for this podcast, they are a little bit extreme. But you can find it.
They're a bit salty. I'm sure you'll be able to find it. But, yeah.
Oh,
all right.
What a month. What a month October was.
It never ends. The news never stops. Never stops coming.
Alright, so I think that's it.
Alright.
So thank you, Fissinger, for using background music. You can follow me on Twitter at thegorgepodcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. And if you want to listen to Sara talk about a whole bunch of other stuff and go on fantastic adventures and with robots and superheroes and everything, you can listen to Sara's other podcast.
That was shockingly glowing. Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we try out different tabletop games. We rotate. Damn. I was really hoping I could get through that whole spiel really quickly. We rotate through other systems, and it's a whole lot of fun. Right now, we are playing Beam Saber, a Forged in the Dark system based around giant robots and political intrigue. I love it. I'm having such a good time with it. I'm basically getting to play like the hothead shitheel character that I always love playing in games like this, where I just like launch myself into action and damn the consequences. And it's worked out great so far in that I got owned, but in a fun way. So it's fine. You should come check us out. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
All right. That'll do it for us. What you
Yo,
got?
fuck Alex Hutchinson. I swear to God, if I ever saw that man in the street, it is on site.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
You are gonna have to invest in a soundboard to bleep me out eventually on this show, because at some point I'm going to go on a violent tirade that is going to have the FBI kick down my door, but I swear to God, if I ever saw him in person, I don't know if I would be able to restrain myself. Like, immediately, because like it's not just like this fucking streaming license shit. No. He has all kinds of bad opinions.
It goes back. He has that whole thing about how the game journalism industry is racist, which, yes, but it's racist to white people. No.
It's racist to white developers, not towards Japanese. He had this incredible saying where he said like that Japanese games are incomprehensible or something like that.
Gibberish.
He's like
the word he said was gibberish.
Oh, wonderful. Even worse than the word incomprehensible. He calls them gibberish, and it's just like, oh, you're just uncomfortable with the fact that sometimes, like, video games can use anime tropes to tell, like, impactful stories, and you directed fucking Far Cry, or you were the creative director or whatever on Far Cry 4. Like, there is nothing comprehensible or good or thematically relevant or even remotely enjoyable in any video game you have ever made, you irredeemable shitheel. Go fuck yourself. I'm so glad you got to be the main character of Twitter, and if you ever come back, I am going to personally contribute to your ratioing, you fucking idiot.
Every single one of our streams going forward is dedicated to him.
Dedicated to Alex Hutchinson, the biggest dumbass whatever lived.
Who thinks we should be paying extra money on top of the money we already spend to stream games.
Absolutely the fuck not. If that ever did come to pass, I would instead just personally invest in Discord Nitro, and then I would just stream to our Discord all of the time instead. I would sooner do that than pay another red cent to these fucking vultures who want to take all of our media away from this. Like, absolutely not. I will not do that. I would rather put a gun in my mouth. So, take that as you will. Fuck Alex Hutchinson. Good night, everyone. Oh, and fuck Google.
Fuck Google, too. Good night, everyone.